Hare Krishna. My name is Shailendra Singh, or Sankalpa Chaitanya Das, as some of you know me as. I wanted to give you an update on our project to build a new temple in the west of Melbourne. I wanted to comment briefly about the issues that the Melbourne temple is currently facing with the complaints from neighbours that is currently being addressed with the Port Phillip Council. A lot of these neighbours have clearly got a great dislike for us because we're coming in such large numbers to the Melbourne temple. But what they're forgetting is that the temple is providing such an important service to the community. And I'm confident that the efforts led by Aniruddha Prabhu and his team will ultimately prevail, because they are doing a service to Lord Krishna, and ultimately they will prevail, I'm confident. Right now I would urge the community to not lament about this issue, comment about things that may or may not have happened in the past or what we could have done, but rather to get behind the temple management and support them to the best of their ability. Having had experience with councils in the past, this can be very, very stressful matters. So right now, Aniruddha Prabhu and his team need all the support they can get. If devotees are able to lead prayer sessions in support of these efforts, then we should do so. At the very least, those who live in the council area should be writing to the councils themselves, I feel, and supporting a case. Far too often we are silent, and our silence is taken for weakness or disapproval or whatever else people want to make it to be. But the reality is we do have large numbers of people living in the council area and beyond that, and we should write to the council supporting the case, I feel anyway. Moving on the temple for the west of Melbourne, I wanted to give an update as to where we are with that. So I haven't really commented on this for some time, but a few weeks ago my wife and I decided to purchase a property which is roughly about 25 minutes drive from Werribee, about 21 kilometers, and with a view to try and have part of the site dedicated for a new temple for the west of Melbourne. The proposal is that the land we are purchasing, part of that will be donated to ISKCON for use as a temple and for a cultural and community center centered around the temple. It will be about 3 acres as a minimum. ISKCON will not be required to pay anything for it, and there will be no ongoing rent. And we will reach into a formal agreement in terms of leasing, which will be as a minimum a 99-year lease with auto renewal thereafter. In the future, if the land can be subdivided, then we will do so and hand that portion of the land to the temple. So in one sense it's a no-brainer, but there are some considerations that the ISKCON management have, and they have been reviewing that and getting advice, legal, town planning advice. And my understanding is the next step is to review this within the executive committee, and hopefully we can then meet and progress those discussions with the goal of reaching an agreement. Look, I'm confident, I'm hopeful that we will reach agreement. Our goal is the same, no matter which side of the fence you sit on, and we will reach an agreement for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. So I'm not worried about that right now, although there's some work to be done. The biggest challenge lies getting approval outside of ISKCON. As the Albert Park matter mentioned earlier shows, that councils and neighbours can be problematic, can be very different about this issue, and so that's where a real challenge lies. Until now, many of you have supported our petition, and I'm very grateful for that. But we are now at a very critical stage of our proposal. We are going through town planning process right now. We've actually had discussions with the council, and we are going through preparing and hopefully lodging a formal application in about 5 to 6 weeks' time. and after that the matter will then be considered formally by the council. My wife and I have gone into this project, particularly this particular site, not really knowing how we're going to make this happen. This is well beyond my capacity to do this, but it had to be done. It has to be done, and I'm hopeful and depending on Lord Krishna to make it happen. To be honest with you, I don't have all the answers. That is a problem that Krishna will have to fix. There are many people who will get in the way of this project, but ultimately there is only one Ishvara, one controller that I recognize, and that is Lord Krishna, and I'm confident he will support us. What we need to make sure our voice is heard in this process. Okay, so the numbers of a petition matter. I really would like to see much larger numbers of support. I'm not asking for any payment right now, but it's important the community gets behind this. The community and the temple management and others hopefully will get behind this, and we can win this case. Right now there are not many people within ISKCON who are actually directly involved, although some are. But I'm very touched, I'm very enthused by the support I'm getting from people outside our immediate community. My finance brokers, accountants, business partners, other business leaders within the Indian community, the Hindu Council, local government and state government support is starting to happen. Everyone we've spoken to is very enthusiastic and supporting this. Somehow this is Krishna's arrangement that these people are coming forward with so much enthusiasm to support such a great cause. And it keeps me going, keeps me wanting to make sure we deliver on this. But I also would like to see even greater support from within the ISKCON community. We're currently at I think it's about 1,470 signatures on our petition. I'd like to see that number a lot higher. There are other things we can do in terms of, again, similar to the Albert Park matter, praying for that we are successful in our efforts. So I will be calling a meeting on this. I'll be organizing a Zoom meeting, and I'd share that in this forum as well. And I'd encourage as many of you to take part. There's nothing wrong in praying and expressing our spiritual desires, and there's no loss or diminution in the process. So please stay tuned, see what you can do to help. Any effort you provide, we will be truly grateful for. I'm very confident, and this is just a gut feeling, this is just the vibe I'm getting, that this will be successful. We've had some threats of people saying, oh, they will complain to the council, you know, about these sort of matters, and I'm sure when the applications are in process, you know, there will be people who will object to it. But I'm confident that Lord Krishna will actually support us. This is ultimately Krishna's desire. The question is how many of us will become instruments in the process to make this, to fulfill this desire. I pray that you can help us and look forward to your ongoing support. Beyond this project, we also have plans to support the ISKCON community with another site in the east of Melbourne, in a suburb called Nanagoon, which is just past Pakenham. Obviously, we'd like to make sure that the West project, Melbourne West project, is delivered, and that'll give us the formula to sort of implement into in the eastern suburbs as well. A lot has to happen, obviously cooperation from all the authorities to make this happen. But certainly my desire and my wife's desire is to make this happen. I hope we can, and I believe that will go a long way towards addressing the needs of our community and the needs of ISKCON, and hopefully we can make that work as well. That is still about 5 years, just over 5 years away now. Stay tuned on that, but for now we're focusing on the west of Melbourne. Thank you.